Hi, my name is Lydia Castro, and I'm presenting costume design for the musical My Fair Lady, and I proudly represent Troop 5744. So my costume design is a musical for My Fair Lady, composed by Frederick Lull and lyrics by Alan J. Lerner. This story follows Eliza Doolittle's journey from a low-class flower girl to a well-adjusted woman in society by the help of her mentor, Henry Higgins. This Broadway musical is based on a play by George Bernard Shaw called Pygmalion, which in itself is a Greek adaptation of an ancient Greek myth. In this original story, Pygmalion is a sculptor who falls in love with the statue he has made. When he kisses her, she comes back to life. So my concept was Greek fashion with the Edwardian fashion of the 1900s. As Eliza's character progresses, the subtle signs of blue in the design become more apparent, expressing her change towards elegance. My main colors are blue and green. Green representing ambition and poverty, while blue represents inspiration and stability. The green is a constant color throughout her costumes, giving her a sense of security during her education, until her last costume, where she is fully transformed to a sophisticated blue. My first costume is Eliza as a poor flower seller. Eliza's dark green rugged shawl indicates the poor lifestyle she lives, while adding a rose to show her job as a flower seller. My next fabric is a dark blue gradient dress underneath the shawl, and that shows the dirty street she is bringing with her and the elegance she has in the future. My next fabric is a brown cotton mix. It forms at the sleeve, goes around her back, comes across her torso, then will be pinned to the back of the actor's dress so she doesn't trip over the piece. This idea of wrapping is a Greek garment called the dorli chiton, which is the idea of wrapping a singular rectangular piece of fabric around the body. My next costume is Eliza when she is learning how to read at Mr. Higgins' home. My first fabric is a deep green silky satin that reflects Mr. Higgins' wealthy influence he has on Eliza. I wanted to incorporate the green to maintain her security and reflecting her poorer roots. I also incorporated a Greek leaf necklace to pull together the Grecian theme that we have. I added a dark blue ribbon fabric that stretches across her waist, and I think it contrasts to all the green tones and represents the luxury lifestyle that she's adapting to. My last fabric is a darker green ribbon across her waist as well, and it represents the darker backstory of the character and tightens the waist and brings out the bust. My next outfit is Eliza when she is going to a horse riding race. And I wanted to really emphasize the popular Edwardian S curve. My first material is a dark green suede material, and this is called a bunch giglet sleeve. It brings out the bust. My next fabric is an indigo satin that represents royalty, nobility, and independence. I wanted to add a petticoat underneath the dress to enlarge her hips and butt. I incorporated a duckbill corset underneath her blouse that brings out also her hips and bust. My next part of the design is a brown silky fabric that is connected through a zigzag collared tunic, which is a popular Greek evening gown. My last fabric is a bright red organza that will have a wire lining inside so it's able to be molded into a rose. I think the rose connects Eliza to her past while incorporating the Edwardian big hat fashion. My last costume of Eliza's is when Eliza is fully introduced to this Edwardian society and enters the ball gown scene. I'm incorporating a lot of blue tones to represent her full evolution to confident blue colors. I had a Greek crown which screams Greek, but I think pulls together the whole Grecian theme. It represents royalty and wealth. My first fabric is a royal satin blue, and that is the main color of this dress, and it represents superiority and elegance. Next, I had a chiffon zen blue fabric, which is underneath a snow organza blue fabric. I think the organza fabric was too light, so I added the zen blue to give more shape, depth, and puff out the sleeves to give more of the bulk chest. My last fabric is a dark satin blue, which will form circles around the dress and gives form and will be cotton padded for fuller lining. I incorporated Greek shapes, jewelry, and shapes like triangles. I incorporated Edwardian concepts like bringing out the bust and having a deep Edwardian v-neck. My last costume is Mrs. Pierce. She is Eliza's housekeeper, or more, Mr. Higgins' housekeeper. Miss Pierce is a constant character throughout this show, who doesn't change compared to Eliza's character, who is constantly changing. My first fabric is a white cotton. A white cotton is durable and is meant to be washed. I also incorporated a Greek tunic design where it's folded over the dress. Next, I added a dark cotton brown, which is the main color of her costume. This brown color represents support and warmth because that was the character she was to Eliza. I lastly included a flower lace netting covering up her chest because she was a very modest person and I wanted to show that. I incorporated gold buttons to show that she works for a very wealthy man and she has standards that she has to hold up to. I also added cotton lace trimming to show elegance, and lastly, a Greek style leaf that holds together the tunic and pulls together the Grecian theme. Thank you.